Hey, I'm Smirky, and during IEM Dallas 2024, G2 went up against Vitality on the T side of Dust 2, and during their T side, they ran an execute where they faked a B split, but then turned it into an A split with NiKo lurking through CT. This fake causes huge confusion on the CT side, allowing players to sneak through smokes to get easy kills. And on top of that, they're hitting the CT side with a really strong execute with lots of util. Pro strats, frequent new meta nades, teamfinder, POV directories, and soon to be much more, all on one site, cs2.app. Thank you cs.app for sponsoring today's video. At the start of this round, G2 are going to default. They'll hold long control, take lower, and then later take short control. Once they have established the default control for T side, they will now start moving on to the strat. Monacy and NiKo will throw smokes in CT mid to bait the CTs into thinking it's a B split, getting their attention. And NiKo will lurk through the smokes and lurk into CT when his teammates execute onto the A side. Speaking of his teammates are going to prep for the execute. They're going to have the standard short smoke combined with a CT smoke. On top of that, they will have Molotovs landing on site and plenty of flashbangs landing behind a ramp, altogether creating a really powerful execute that the CTs were not prepared for. Starting with NiKo, as mentioned before, they first need to take short control as part of their default. So as G2 start creeping up, NiKo will bounce a flash and later throw a Molotov to burn players out into the open. Once they have established short control, they will now start preparing for the strat. NiKo will jump down into lower to line the smoke up. Once he's ready, he will aim here and left click throw. And he will then combine it with a flashbang. And the flash that NiKo threw will get the CTs to fall off behind their smokes. The smoke that NiKo threw is intended to limit the vision of the B players, making them unaware if the Ts are splitting onto B, sneaking into CT, or trying to distract them. Once NiKo throws the flashbang, he will peek out and start creating noise. Once he's out, he will hide inside of the CT smoke that Monacy threw and wait for his teammates to execute, where when they do execute, he comes out and gets an easy kill onto Apex. At this point, he can join his teammates on executing onto the site. There is a small miscalculation in this execute though, as one of his teammates threw a Molotov down into CT, making it difficult for NiKo to push up and get the kill onto long, but later he does get it and clears long. Moving over to Monacy, while his teammates are taking short control, Monacy the AWPer will be holding CT mid, ready to pick off CTs who are greedy for information. When NiKo is ready, he will then prepare himself for the fake B split. He lines himself up with this lock, aims at this corner of the wooden door, and crouch jump throw. The smoke that Monacy threw will bounce off the floor, landing on this box, covering all of CT, and later allowing NiKo to lurk through when they start executing onto A. After the smokes have been thrown, they will start preparing for the execute. Monacy will hold for any peeks, meanwhile his teammates will throw the util. Once the util has been thrown and his teammates are ready to push up, he jumps throws his flashbang and later throws a Molotov. The flash that Monacy threw will land high in the sky, blinding at any CTs trying to defend short, and the Molotov will bounce off the wall, covering the entirety of the site. After throwing the util, Monacy will peek out and hold an angle of his choice, in this case, site. But his teammates get the site, so he will defend their backs by holding short. Moving over to Hunter, once they have gained short control and his mid guys are doing the fake B split, he will then prepare himself for the A execute. In this round, he puts himself in this garage corner, aims at the top of this window, and left click throw. This smoke will be used to cover CT. So while I was editing this video, I couldn't help feel like this smoke was intended for avant-garde rather than CT. So if it was the case, this is how you do it. Just get into this corner, aim at the middle of the window and left click throw. And this is great when it's combined with the short smoke, making it easier for your team to get onto the site. After throwing the smoke, he'll then come up and think about throwing a Molotov for Goose, but later changes it for CT. I'm not the biggest fan of this Molotov because it limits the options NiKo can have in CT and could have screwed him over while he was taking the fight on long. Personally, I prefer the Molotov for Goose. After throwing the Molotov, he will throw a flashbang to a ramp and push out with his team. Looking at the next crucial role for this execute is Stewie. Stewie will throw a short smoke by putting his back to this box, aiming in line of the floor, and left click throwing. This smoke will go behind the box, giving them cover as G2 push out of short and also throw util behind it. After the smoke, he then lines himself up for a Molotov that lands on ramp, making it really difficult to fight against short. Afterwards, he can act as the entry and swing out with his teammates' flashbangs. Nexa's main role is just to throw flashbangs and run out. In this, he waits for Stewie's smoke to appear and then starts making his way out. He thinks about mulling Goose, but I assume because Stewie is making his way out, he switches to his flashbangs and flashes ramp. And these flashbangs are designed to catch players on long and ramp, allowing his teammates to run out from short. However, while they're still fighting on short, Nexa will throw an extra Molotov for ramp, which unintentionally lands inside of the window, but does the job.